I'm Jian. This is The Bow Whispers to the Arrow. Works in this show are 13 monochromatic drawing on paper. This body work I started during pandemic in 2020. The pandemic broke out in Wuhan, China. That was a time where I find myself very disoriented. In my studio, I made a switch away from my oil on paper practice and shifted to this cutout practice. Back at the time, it was more of kind of a visual journaling. The cutout was a repetitive process that kind of grounded me in my studio in a turbulent time. The bow whispers to the arrow, a line by Tagore in his collection of poems called The Stray Bird. And the fourth sentence is, the bow whispers to the arrows before it sets forth, your freedom is mine. This line resonates with me because when I think of the drawing practice, the moment that pencil touches the paper, it's like an arrow speeds forth. And the creator who's at the drafting desk is the bow who sets forth of this sequence of action. It's simultaneously a recollective and a reflective process for the creator. And if we're lucky, the same thing happens for the viewer. My hometown, Yichuan, Hubei, is a mountainous town. It locates just a little bit to the east side of Sichuan province. So I grew up with always have mountain tips in my view. And after moving to Texas, I realized now looking back, those mountains are a little bit of manifestation of my homesick. Since pandemic has been over 5 years, it is very important in my work that there are a sense of story and a visual motif to pull you in. And then there are also things that are mysterious or maybe a bit abstract to define. It's this kind of paradoxical pictorial space that I'm so fond of, is disrupt a pictorial convention just in order to host the viewer's eye a little bit longer. A little bit like a director of a play, that there's certain go-to character that I felt like I have a relationship with and that they are at my fingertips when I need to construct. Before I know what the final image of the drawing is like, I will sit down and just like cut out trees, many trees. The drawing starts with this very simple desire of, I am going to make a drawing with many, many arrows. So the arrows comes first and everything comes and fall into their place. The work are made in layers. I call them like peeling the onion skin of an image. So you started with a blank page of parchment paper. They have this cream-like translucent quality. And I began with sprinkle the charcoal dust and the ashes and let them drop to form this gravitational wash. And then I lift part of them up with erasure and fix it. The sharp edges, it's kind of like hideous to get to that precise, but the stencil can be put down as both an additive tool or reductive tool. The work has evolved into this introverted universe, but with a lot of parallel or connectivity with every day. The language, the character that is present in the to return, the two small pieces in the show, it pronounces Hui in Chinese, and it's a character of two boxes interlock with each other. That is, of course, now a linguistic sign, but it's as pictorial as the architecture. And I think one can interpret it that way. Another example would be like how the aesthetic of ink or landscape of Chinese ink scroll, the history is always inevitably flattening things that has original depth and originality. And my making, I think what throws me in my desk is moving forward by looking back. It's this kind of paradox of how can an arrow set forth while it liberates the bow. So this kind of conflict of emotion and emotion is what keeps me engaged in the work. An important part of my making is reanimate what is ancient. I really believe that what speaks to us does not get to regenerated and renewed that fast. I think a lot of our feeling is as ancient as how our ancestors feel. And I also don't believe there is a profound division between what is sign and what is authentic motif. What I mean by that is all the signage that we experience today, at some point, they are original creation of some kind. Works in the show, ultimately, I think, is a net. And if you walk through the show, you should be able to see both moments that captivate a feeling, or you should also have a sense of a loose narrative of what this universe is like. I hope that the work brings a sense of sequential way of interpreting from piece to piece, and the viewer at various moments will see a little bit of how their own feeling or mood is hosted in one piece of work or another.